This content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no one.
Wait a second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septum Sin versus the world. 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 I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You are watching a new feature for Septum Sin vs. the World. I am, of course, Septum Sin, your host for a journey through all of my collection. Eventually, by the end of this series, you, just like me, will have seen all that there is to see around me. Now that's quite a bit, as you can see. It goes back quite a bit. So let's talk. Many of you are going to be seeing this intro on the first time, because this is the intro that tells you the rules. And you may not be interested in some of the other sections. So we're going to start by talking about how this project is going to be presented. I'm going to present this in 4 sections. Those 4 sections are what I have my collection divided into: Criterion, TV, anime, and movies. Furthermore, I'm only going to cover one particular zone in each. You see, there are 3 ways that I actually look at when it comes to sorting. 1, used and unwatched, meaning I've gotten these things used and I have not watched them. These are very few and far between. New and unwatched, there's a lot of those in my collection. You can see quite a number of them up there behind me. And then finally, watched. Now it doesn't mean that I have not seen the items in the section that is unwatched or new. It's just I haven't watched my copy. And to me, it's not officially in my collection until I have watched my copy to make sure it works. Because of that, I'm going to be taking 10 items each video and talking a little bit about each one and what it means to me, why it's in my collection, if I can recall, and how I feel in general. I hope you can join me in this journey together. I will see you for the first episode. Which one? That's up to you, dear viewer. Greetings, fellow travelers. Here we are again with another stroll through my collection. This is Septum Sin of Septum Sin vs. the World, and today we're doing an anime stroll. You know what that means. Next Monday is the last time you'll have to sit through that intro, if you've been watching all along. If not, I'm sure you found it useful. So, this time we're going to do some anime. 10 items. And so, anime is a little bit different. So, if it actually says Season 1 and Season 2, I will present it as like a 1 full thing. If it's like a different name series, I will probably present it as separate ones, so long as they're separate in the collection. Like a good example, I would present Slayers as 3 separate series for the original, but I have it as a full set, so therefore it will be 1 entry. So, why don't we go ahead and begin. The first we have here is .hack/sign. So, this is a lovely little series. It's got the 2 OVAs on this, and it is 26 episodes long. So, this is about a game where you go into this place called the world. This is when MMOs were really big. And this is one of the first of its time, or of its genre. So these people come into this world and they notice that this fellow here is in the game and never signing out. It has no memory of anything outside of the game. People are also, for some reason, dying and then not waking up in the real world. And this is a real problem. So, this leads to our heroes trying to save the day. So, on here, of course, many of these anime do not have a lot of extras. I mean, they consider the fact that they have it in Japanese and English dub as an extra. And in some cases, that is something. But mainly if you have the English dub. There are a few cases where that's not the case. Yeah, character art reel, textless opening and closing songs, and you got the Japanese trailers. So it's not a bad thing here. I mean, this is a Bandai release, so this is out of print just by the fact that it is that, or at least this version is out of print, I should say, because Bandai is no longer making much anime. A little bit, but not much. So next we're going to talk about .hack roots. So I'll show you this back here. Alright. So .hack was, and to this day still is, more than just an anime. It's transformative. I've got a cat. Sorry. It is a transformative experience that altered an entire generation's view of the world. This wildly successful franchise gave us all the chance to escape. Thanks to .hack, we no longer have to settle for being normal. We can delve into the world in search of adventure. We can run dungeons, collect treasure, and lose ourselves in virtual labyrinths. Each installment of this classic franchise is a melding of future and past, where the rules of reality no longer apply. After all these years, .hack remains our ticket to the world, and we can't wait to log back in. 1 year after a fire destroyed the data that comprised the world, Haseo's adventures into the virtual labyrinth's replacement, the world R2, attacked almost immediately by player killers. Haseo joins forces with Friendly Guild and begins a perilous quest to locate the key of the Twilight. So, of course, you've got your promo video, TV spots, DVD release announcements, textless opening and closing songs, and trailers. So, unlike the last one, well, actually, no, this one also, so I guess these are in print, because this also was Funimation, so it has the Bandai and Funimation alongside. Funimation picked up the rights to .hack afterwards, and it's kind of cool to have that. And if you look right here, it shows the timeline of them right here. This would be the third after Legend of Twilight. But, so technically I've got this out of order. So why don't I see if I have that? What do you know? I do have it. So, well, why don't we go ahead then to .hack Legend of Twilight. This is probably my second favorite of the series. I liked Sign, but I really liked this one. I don't know what that's about. So, you know, again, there's not much change between them. as far as that. I wouldn't show you a lot of the, unless I see like the cover is different. I probably won't show you too much. I haven't shown you discs. I should probably do that because sometimes the disc art is kind of cool. As a matter of fact, you can see the art inside right here. Of course, there's not much to the discs themselves. It's kind of bland. And of course, there's so many roots. You can see, again, they've got this black. Still the same thing. You've got the hive pattern here, you can see, or the hex pattern. And this one, of course, again, I just hate it when this happens. Oh, that's because it's missing. You can see mine has like a little bit of a broken off piece, but you can see the artwork. I'll just put that side right now. But you can see the artwork right there. Again, it's that hex pattern. This one's pink. I need to replace this. Let's see what we got here. Twins, Rena and Shogo, endured a painful separation after their parents' divorce. When they both win avatars in a contest, they reunite in the world as Black Rose and Hite. Or Kite. Or Kite, I guess. After a frightening encounter leaves Rena in a coma, Shugo must unlock the secrets of the Twilight Bracelet and rescue his sister before it's too late. So you've got your art reel, your opening song and ending song. Those textless openers and closers are pretty standard for most anime releases, and you've got your trailers. Again, Funimation release. Nothing super special about it. Now, when we're talking about Bandai only releases, we do finally get into one with the Dot Hack GU trilogy. I'm sure this would look very similar if this was the combined Funimation release, but as you can see, there's no Funimation logo on the back of this particular one. Matter of fact, the art style is very different. As you can see, there's actual cover art on here for the disc art on there. And see here, based on the Dot Hack GU video game, which I do have that re-release of the trilogy, this feature-length CG anime follows Haseo, who is obsessed to take revenge for the loss of his beloved Shino. So, and of course, he is trying to get this revenge on Tri-Edge, a mysterious player killer. This is alright. This is not my favorite, probably my least favorite of the three. It has interactive menus, Japanese language dialogue, English subtitles, parody mode, promotional videos, special TV program, making of the theatrical feature, and image board gallery. So probably the most special features of all these so far. So, the last of my Dot Hacks, Dot Hack Quantum, which they didn't even have in their things, even though this is a Funimation release. Matter of fact, this is one that they just have as a Funimation release and not a Funimation slash Bandai release. So as you can see here, it's kind of interesting. They do these tall boxes, but it's really like that. It's a regular DVD box. But it does not have that hex pattern on it like it did here. So you've got your basic, you've actually got your cover art there, and this is the cover. There we go. The latest installment in the phenomenally successful Dot Hack franchise dares fans to find out what's been happening in the world since their last visit. Tobias, Mary, and Sakuya are on their way into the world together. They form an inseparable group, grinding until they break day and running dungeons in search of artifacts of adventure. But when the trio becomes lost in the virtual labyrinth, a chance encounter with a mysterious entity known only as Hermit will change their lives forever. There's an eerie darkness spreading across the world, and once you stumble in, you may never make it out. So they have a couple of features. You've got these shorts. They Go Out Chims Part 1 through 3. Yui Ogura's Yui Yui Cooking, Yui Ogura's Yui Yui Club, Yui Ogura's Yui Yui Cult Quiz, promotional videos, original commercial, pre-release, promotional video, and US trailer. And this is a 3-episode series. Not bad. Jew Trilogy, I believe, is a movie. Yep. Let's see here. Roots, I believe, has 26 episodes, and Twilight, Legend of Twilight, has 12 episodes. So, moving on. Alright, so we're moving on to something slightly different, a masterpiece of a film called 5 centimeters per second. This was probably the second run that Bandai did of this. The first one was really hard to get. It was like $75 to get a hold of a copy at one time, and that was really hard. I mean, this here also is out of print, but they do have it in print. I can't remember the studio that picked it up, but they did have a studio that has it, and if you don't have it, you should get it. This is probably one of my favorite anime films of all time. See our top 10 anime film list. Just as a little plug there. So, modern-day anime classic and brainchild of rising star Makoto Shinkai, 5 centimeters per second presents to you, as never before seen, witness the story of Takaki, a young man on a journey from Tokyo to reunite with his childhood best friend, Akari. Feel his emotions superimposed on the gorgeous, heavily researched, and impressively animated backdrops of Japan as he travels by train to see her. Join Takaki on a voyage into 3 interconnected tales of love and lost innocence that span the minutes, the months, and years of their lives. 5 centimeters per second, the speed at which a cherry blossom falls from the trees, reminiscent of peace of life as our lives intermingle. So there are some nice features. You've got your English track, you've got your Japanese track, you've got your animated music video, your subtitle feature film storyboards, subtitle anime music video, again directed by Makoto Shinkai, 2 subtitled theatrical trailers, subtitled cast interview, and subtitled Motoko Shinkai interview. This is actually kind of funny because a lot of these interviews, sometimes you can get them and they will not have any subs whatsoever, which is a pain in the butt. So it's kind of good that you see the subs on here. I do wish I had the Blu-ray of this, and maybe one day I'll upgrade, but I still am happy with what I have at the moment anyway. It's beautiful. It does need to be up on that. Alright, so this next one is multiple seasons. This was a movie, so we're going to go from a certain magical index. So we're going to take a look at this pretty good. Oh, let me show you the disc art for 5 centimeters per second. See, this is what the cover of the original looked like. So, it's kind of... Actually, I like that better than I like this cover. That's just me. So, we'll take a look at this. This is season 1 of a 3 season. I've only got 2 seasons, as you'll see. 24 episodes. This was the whole season set, which I wanted. Same as the previous. Let me go put this up here. You see the disc art, which you can see is not very... And you've got one of our villains of the series, which has turned into kind of a hero as time gone on. More of that there. So this is a pretty interesting one. This one is about a world where you've got these espers and magicians. Of course, the espers, it's sort of like a My Hero Academia, where most people have a quirk. And in this one, you've got a lot of people who have these superpowers. And those who don't have the superpowers can try out for magic power and become mages. Well, there's this one individual who has all these spell books in her head, and that's Index. She's the nun on this cover here. So Index meets up with this guy who has the power to cancel all the powers, called Imagine Breaker. And this is their story. It's a pretty good story. It's been entertaining. It's not my favorite series by far, but it is a series that I enjoy and continue to enjoy collecting. So Season 2 kind of picks up where Season 1 goes off. So this is Part 1 of Season 2. I think only Part 1 of Season 3 is out right now. So of course you've got, here's the inside art. The disc art is kind of bland again. Funimation, what's up with your disc art? Now this, I believe, is, it's like, yeah, it's 212 episode sets. This is the other set, Part 2, as you can see. Of course, the art is the same on the inside, but we can see the art in the disc. There we go. There we are. Again, 24 episodes in total. So, I mean, so far the series, from what I have of the series, is 48 episodes. Which, you know, that's a lot of Index. But that's not all I have of Index, because I also have one that I treat separately, which is A Certain Magical Index, the movie, The Miracle of Endymion. So you can see that. This here. And of course, bland old disc art again. I'm going to show you that art. Let's go ahead and take this off so you can see that art. The inside. So far, the only extras they included on the series discs were some episode commentaries and textless songs and trailers. So here, let's see if I can go to where it is. When a beautiful singer lands a big break, her miraculous voice attracts unwanted attention, making the songstress a target for magicians and scholars alike. As the battle between sorcery and science blasts into space, Kamijo Index and their allies in Academy City are rocketed into a psychedelic stadium thousands of feet above Japan in a desperate attempt to keep Arisa and the rest of the world safe. Science fiction and fantasy collide in this action-packed feature film, set in the shared universe of A Certain Magical Index and A Certain Scientific Railgun. Extras have commentary, teaser, TV spots, theatrical trailer, promotional video, telepath, theatrical trailer, and US trailer. Again, these are Funimation releases. You'll notice, actually, Funimation and Viz do something similar. They tend to like to release seasons in these two sets, and then sometimes, if they're popular enough, they will release full season sets like this. So, sometimes I can wait, sometimes I can't. Usually, if I'm not doing them and I'm getting them separate, it's either because I can't wait, I need to see it now, or they have a good sale. So, speaking of waiting, and speaking of shared universes, we have their sister series, A Certain Scientific Railgun. See, there's that. Now this also has some pretty good artwork. Not on the discs. This is more about the... actually, I'll talk about that in a minute. I'll put a poster. There we go. This is actually more about the enforcers in Academy City. These people, these espers and stuff, that actually enforce the law and try and keep everybody safe. There's a student academy or student security group, so to speak. And of course you've got Railgun, who is a big character in the original series, who is called Railgun because she can use her lightning powers to basically become a railgun. And her counterpart, who is a teleporter, and they're fighting, well, they're episodes of fighting crime. This starts before the events of a certain magical index and continues on past that. So we also had a sequel series to that, a certain magical index, a certain scientific railgun S, which is the season 2. Now both of these are 24 episodes long, I believe. Yes. And yes. And they both come with the textless songs, US trailers, and episode commentaries. Again, not much on the disc art, but you have some art in the book. And this thing on the side here. Right here. Okay. Still, pretty good series. Finally, we're going to end on a fun little slice of life called A Channel. And as you can see, 12 episodes. So, Toru and Run have been best friends forever. So when Toru learns that she's managed to get into the same high school as Run, she runs to tell her, only to find Run is in a compromising position with yet another girl, Yuko. Needless to say, that makes things a bit awkward at school, with Toru fending off those who might be interested in Run, and Yuko and their other girlfriend Nagi have to deal with Run's own penchant for trauma. But it's not all angst all the time. As the school year progresses, the 4 girls and many classmates find time to laugh, play, and figure out how to handle the unexpected problems life throws at them. Like bugs in the house, accidentally giving each other horrible haircuts, freezing up at karaoke, and forgetting to put on your underwear in the morning. So, you have the mini episodes, which is nice. And you have a 3-part feature with Japanese voice actor. And clean closing animation. Again, not too bad for what you get. A nice bonus DVD on here. And of course, there is disc art, but there's no internal art. So we've got these nice discs, as you can see. Well, that's it for our anime stroll. Hope you've enjoyed it. Of course, if you've liked our strolls, hit that like button, share, of course, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.